During worship services, our team is all over the building. Oftentimes, our ATEM volunteer will need to give direction to the cameras, letting them know to zoom in or out, adjust their exposure, or get ready to start a specific movement like pan across the crowd. On the flip side, sometimes our camera volunteer needs to talk with those up in the tower. It can be difficult to type out a text or send a Slack message while trying to pay attention to the service. To make sure the whole team can talk directly and quickly, we use these radios. There are two parts to these radios. The first is the actual radio itself. Some might call it a walkie-talkie. On it, you'll find three different controls: a volume knob, a push-to-talk button, also known as a PTT, and a set of up and down buttons used to change the channel. Use the volume knob to power on the radio. You'll hear and feel a nice solid click. Once the radio is turned on, it's going to announce which channel it's currently set to.
Power on, 16.
At the time of filming this, all of our radios are using channel 16. When either the up or down button is pressed, the radio will announce again which channel it just switched to. The service team needs to make sure that their radios are all on the same channel. We don't often change it, but these buttons can be pressed pretty easily accidentally. Press the up and down arrows to cycle through and find the correct channel. By itself, the radio has a loudspeaker and a microphone to speak into. It's fine to use it like this if you are in the enclosed production booth, but if you're in the sanctuary for service, make sure you connect to the next part, the headset. These are high-quality noise-canceling headsets that are built for use in loud environments, like airport runways, or in our case, Pentecostal worship services. You'll notice that there are a few extra knobs and controls on both the cord and the headset itself. Let's start with this piece that's partway up the cord. On it, you'll find a switch. Make sure that it's set to PTT or push to talk. The other setting is actually a voice-activated setting, but our environment's a little bit too loud to use it, so make sure it's on the PTT. On the side, you'll find another volume dial. I recommend keeping this volume dial all the way up to maximum volume, and I'll explain that in a second. Here we have the headset itself. On one side, we have another dial that works just like the one on the radio. Turning the volume all the way off will give you that same click sound and feeling. Twist the other way to turn the volume all the way up. I know these dials might get a little bit confusing because they click both when you turn it off and on. To tell the difference, if the dial clicks and immediately won't twist anymore, the power is off. If you feel the dial click and it keeps twisting, you're turning the volume up and the power is on. It's important to turn all three volume dials all the way up to maximum volume when you're first setting up the radio. This will help as you test the microphone and the volume before service and when you're making sure that the radio is on the correct channel. On the other side of the headset, there's a button. It's actually another push-to-talk button, and it's the one I personally use most often, since then I don't have to reach for the radio or try to find the piece connected to the cord. The last piece of the headset is the microphone. The arm for the microphone is rigid but still bendable. Make sure you push the mic as close to your mouth as possible. It makes a massive difference in the clarity of your voice, especially if you're down on the floor during worship. If the mic isn't close enough to your mouth, the team will likely not be able to hear you during service. The headset connects to the radio on the side of the unit, and it only goes in one way. Make sure that it's fully pressed in, or else the headset won't work. So that covers all the technical pieces of the radios, but I have a few tips to note before we go. Make sure the headphones fully cover your ears during service. You'll notice as you play around with the adjustment on your head how much of a difference it makes in canceling out noise when they're positioned properly. Second, only one person can speak at a time. Make sure you wait for others to finish before responding. Third, when speaking, you can push any of the PTT buttons. There's a slight delay, so wait 1 second before speaking. After you're finished talking, keep holding that button down for 1 more second. If you don't wait and start speaking too quickly, or you let go of the button too soon, your voice will actually cut out and the team won't be able to hear what you tried to say. So that's the basics for radios. These are a great tool that help us respond quickly to what God's doing in service. By communicating, working together, we can create an awesome worship experience for our guests. Thank you so much for serving God's mission.